Hi everyone, this presentation is for exercise 11 and the team members are Devi, Gopika, David, Priyanka and Saurabh. For the scenario 1, question 2, there were two questions. What makes visualization beautiful? So adding symmetry and balance into the graph, using less color or less contrasting colors, using scales or size to determine importance so as to make important information broad, using geometrical shapes, squares, circles, or triangles, so that people can relate to them, replacing smooth lines with straight lines, because those are perceived easier to our eye. So second question was how stakeholders will see, think, and reconstruct visualizations. Stakeholders are motivated to use beautiful visualizations by formatting a question, determining an answer, and identifying the pattern based on the data. So, to answer stakeholders' question, we should formulate queries and questions on the basis of information available. We should narrow the search space of the query and visualize the next basis for the information in hand, for data understanding. Explore the data to ensure answers make sense, and then explore the additional patterns within the data to answer the questions in the previous steps. Then there was a case study for which we have to create a mock-up of a beautiful visualization and a storyboard of how stakeholders will see, think, and reconstruct. So for the case study one, there were two graphs. For the first graph, which has a white background, adding a minimum value to highlight how the trend is looking over the period of time would be beneficial. Right now, we don't have any value there, so I think adding a minimum and maximum value will make sense. For the second graph, uh, comparison couldn't be made if I want to compare strongly disagree where from for item A, item B, item C, item D. I can't do that. So having a side by side chart for comparing each section with the other section would be beneficial. For case study two, the added information is overwhelming. So keeping the animation in place, but we have to remove the unnecessary details from the graphs, and we should have the minimum and maximum and only important point in the graph, so as to draw stakeholders' attention. Now I'll hand over to Devi for presenting next slides.
Uh, Thank you, Priyanka. So the next one is the case study 3. So for this one, the chart, we will order the data by like logic, like how to show the data. So from this, you can see from the chart, we keep the categories in numerical order. So it provides an important construct for the audience to use to interpret the information. Also, the strategic use of color set, position, text, and various series apart from one another, and guides where the audience should look for specific evidence of what is being described. So the textbook on the right side. So like the audience know like which step that they have to take. So for the case study 4, we will like avoid a spaghetti graph, like messy line chart. So for this, like what we can do, the first one is emphasize one line at the time, like the sample on the left side. So we focus on one line, either the highest or the lowest. So like for this example, we choose like the highest on 2015, the health, like which is like 75%. And the second option that we can do is like separate spatially by the categories and then pulling like apart either vertically or horizontally. So by this, it's easier for the audience to see by the categories how they grew by time, like periodically. And then the last one is separate spatially and emphasize single line at the time. So basically, it's like combination the first one and the second one. So the audience can focus on a single line at a time. It's also like slightly highlighting as well. They can see the comparison at the same time. And case number 5, we alternatives to pie chart. So what we can do, the first one we show the number directly, like the of the of the presentation. Like for this one, like we just like highlight 68% after the pilot program was successful. So like the audience can see like the topics that we want to talking about. And the second one, a simple bar graph. So it's easier to compare by putting it close together and aligning the common baseline. So it's easy to compare one to each other. And then the last one is stack horizontal bar graph. So we make two categories like before and after, and then like based on the survey as well, like poor, not great, okay, or kind of interested and excited. So we can make the comparison before and after as well. So by doing this, we get a consistent baseline for the comparison of with both segment. So for the next slide, we'll be presenting by Kopika.
So for this task, we asked to create a visualization in Tableau, and people from different social strata were asked to answer the question, what are the key reasons for success? So the results were recorded in an Excel sheet, and we used that Excel dataset to create a tree map in Tableau. So next slide, please. So this is the tree map that we created for the dataset. Here we can see that around 38% of rich people rated hard work as the secret of success, and 28% rated for good education and high qualification. Similarly, among middle class, a good percentage of people rated good education, high qualification, and hard work. But we can see that around 39% poor people rated for connections to the right people, and around 32% rated among middle class. And this reason is very less popular among rich people. Also, around 27% of rich people rated entrepreneurial spirit and courage, which is a less popular reason among poor and middle class. Instead, they rated presence of initial capital. And it is interesting to note that around 32% of poor people rated cunning and cheating as the secret of success. So we can say that they should change their approach to life. And also very less percentage of people in these three strata rated for fortune, good luck, abilities and talents as the reason behind success. So next slide will be presented by David. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving to the next slide. So for slide 3, the question was criteria to determine when to use a beautiful visualization. So the first one is beautiful visualization should be used when formulating a question or determine an answer to the question. So stakeholders can use beautiful visualization when trying to formulate a question or trying to find answer to that questions. Number 2, it can also be used to visualize next approach based on the current information for the answer. So when stakeholders get information for the question they ask, beautiful visualization can be used to visualize the next approach to go after getting information on the question they initially asked. Third one, we use beautiful visualization to explore patterns from a chunk of information. So after gathering different information, like beautiful visualization can be used to explore patterns from the different information to know where each information fits into, and which information is good to be used and which information is not suitable for the question. So the next question was what we learned so far in the course. So we learned about increasing stakeholder engagement, so how stakeholders can engage with their audience and all. And we learned about beautiful visualizations. So under beautiful visualizations, we learned how to use visualization and how to engage visualization, and we also learned how to use examples of combinations of visualization. So using different visualizations to bring out a beautiful visualization. So with this, come to the end of our recording. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.